Hey guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. Well, gentlemen, let's say welcome back to this never-ending two-pill saga. So right now we're working on a midnight special, 250. We'll talk about this little Palomar TX50 here in a minute. But I got to quickly shoot this segment to show you what happened. This is the lid for this midnight special 250. And enjoy the multicolor LED. So something has gotten dripped on this cabinet at some point, and it caused this big, ugly, ugly 50 cent piece stain, and it smeared its ass all the way down here. So I thought, no big deal. I'll just take some very light electronics wash and see if this will come off. And what ended up happening is the whole cabinet, all the paint came off of it. I'm Smurf blue now. There's no primer. This is literally the cheapest paint money could buy. I mean, go figure, right? I mean, seriously, like, go figure. So I went in and I took all the paint off because now this has turned into a repaint project. Yay! Repainting. Woo, fun. So now what do I got to go do is I'm going to go Scotch-Brite this side down and make it all nice and polished again and get rid of this rust and knock over whatever this cheese dick ism jism cum-dism that is on the side of this thing and make it look all pretty. Then I'm going to prime this because now that we've taken it back to its bare metal, we know that this is just going to be a rust-sickle. Swear to God, cheapest things on earth ever made. Swear to Christ. So, okay. As I'm sitting there sanding this side and then wire brushing this back so it's nice and smooth, getting it prepped for paint, I realize there's rust here. And then I realize there's rust here. And then I realize there's rust over here on the tin. And then I realize there's rust here. So now that we've removed the Nerd Smurf Turf Blue, we're going to go and we're going to put an etchant primer on this. And we're going to actually paint this properly so we don't have to worry about this thing rusting anymore in the future. Remember, same quality, less cost. We're only going to take the quality out where you don't see it in pictures on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so check it out. It's epoxy coated, primered now. So let's go out and we're going to go reshoot this now with some black paint. It'll stay on here, and this epoxy, believe it or not, primer is what seals our paint so we don't have any more rust. I don't know if that was rust bleed through or just like water was dripping on this. I don't know what the deal was, but man, I've never seen nothing where you just take electronics wash to it and the paint falls off. Sorry, I'm not superly impressed with the paint job that was applied here, but it's okay. I'm not a painter, I'm an amp builder. It'll be all right. Let me go squirt some more color dye on this thing. We'll be back. Okay. Enough ragged smack talk about the situation. We went ahead and we painted this in hammer gray. So it's got epoxy primer underneath the hammer gray paint. It will never come off and it's not going to rust. That's done. All right. So what we have here is our tool of unit of measure. Is our venerable bird 43 watt meter. So the first thing we're going to show you is our ability to talk through the amplifier. We're going to put RF in this connector and we're measuring how much RF is coming out of this connector. Hello, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. So about 20 watts. Now let's establish our unit of measure now that we've shown you the needle swinging around. That's a 100 watt slug, 100 watt slug, 5 watt slug in reverse. Okie dokie. So 20 watts worth of input drive. We're going to give it, let's see here. Let's take this 5 watt slug and make it read in a forward position. So now we're watching the RF going that way. We're going to put about 3/4 of a watt into this little guy. Now we have 2 switches. We have an on and a low and a high position. Okay. Oh, it's lit. It's just orange at the moment. It's not lit up. Okay, I thought that wasn't working for a second. So 3/4 of a watt going in gives us about 10 watts going out. Or no, 20 watts going out. Hello, 1, 2. Hello. About 100 bird and well over that in peak. So we'll go ahead and we'll go up to 2x, so 2 times. Please keep in mind we're now currently operating the amplifier at 12 volts. Hello. We're still running it to the quarter on the peak meter. So now we're going to go up to 5 times. So we're reading this middle scale and we're adding a 0. Let's go ahead and zoom on in so we can get a demonstrated amount of average power. Hello. Just going about, let's see, what would that be? Almost 300 watts of this little tiny guy. This little 250. Little tiny thing. But remember, we're at 12 volts. Okay? And that's in the high position. So let's check out low here real quick before I pan out. Hello. So we're getting about 200 watts out. No, about 100 watts, pardon me. Hello. Hello. 250 on high. Hello. 100 watts on low. Keep remembering we're running that middle scale, even though I told you all we were. I totally forgot. Let's zoom up here. Let's take a look at our input tune. This is a 5 watt slug in reverse. Hello. Ooh. Well, that's no good. Hello. One more little problem that we've just revealed to the entire universe we have. So our input tune on this thing is horrible. Gee, could it be this? Could it be this resistor here? What could it be? As soon as the RF comes in, it's going through a voltage divider. This resistor. It's going down this piece of mini coax, and then it's coming over here to this switch. Then it's got a resistor to ground for the input, and then directly off the switch with no capacitance, none whatsoever off the switch, into the 2-pil. So we've got 2, what are these? 455 SD 1446s in here, with no input capacitance for input tune. We're seeing great numbers over here. Hello, 1, 2, that's on low. Hello, 1, 2, that's on high, on 12 volts. But the problem is, hello, on 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's on high. Let's go down to low. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Input tune on low is deplorable. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We're skirting on the cusp of acceptable when we're on high. But if I was a betting man, if I was to go in here and add just a scooch of capacitance right here at this switch, I bet you we can make that dramatically change. What you all think? Okay. So, here we are on high. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now here we are on low. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's about the best that we're going to get, I personally feel. I only had to change a couple different things here. Like, had to add an 820 puff capacitor here and a 30 puff capacitor down there. See them? But the end result is hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And now to low. Hello, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. roughly the same. So, make a long story short, let's go down here. Let's bring our power supply online. We'll come up to 14.8 and we'll see what we end up getting for power results here in just a second. Let's let our super caps charge up. Are you going to stay or are you going to go? There we go. Okay. So we're on high. Hello. Hello. 1, 2. Hello. Got down. So well over our 100 bird, and now we're making 300 watts peak. Now, this little guy is cute, but we have to look at this from a realistic point of view. There is just 1.25 inches worth of heat sink underneath the bottom of this thing with no airflow. So is this the kind of thing that you can like just hook up to your radio and go fiddly fart on for a little while? And yeah, you don't want to wrap this up in a non-air moving environment, that's for sure. This will come back to bite you in the butt because this thing will get so hot it'll melt down. It'll melt down. That's all there is to it. And yes, this has a multicolored LED on it. There's blue, green. Wait for it. Purple, orange, red. Somebody else has modified this. But what we've done is just basically clean up the cabinet, guaranteeing that it's going to work. You're obviously going to get better results if you run this thing on high most of the time. Obviously, clearly. Now, as I put these screws in, let's switch subjects here real quick. Where are my mounting holes? There they are. There they are. Okay. Let's talk about this guy, the elephant in the room. Now, I've left him sitting up here for a hot minute. I thought, man, look at this little TX50. I ain't seen one of these since I was a kid. A cute little amp. I got all excited about it because it's like the original one pill, man. It's like the original gangster, you know what I mean? It's just friggin' neat. So I go and I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, let's take it apart and let's take a look at it. So it's got these anti-theft screws in it, which were a giant pain in the ass to get out. They've got these little slotted heads on them that, well, it's the kind of anti-torque bit that they use to put bathroom stalls together with and shit. Okay. They were a booger to get off. So I get those off and we go down and we look at the inside and it looks great. There's nothing burned up on the inside and I'm like, awesome. And so I thought, well, let's go ahead and let's do the power wire upgrade to it. So I do power wires because believe me when I tell you, the wires that were in there were less than stellar. By all means, shape and form. They were pretty skunky, I guess the best way to put it. So I replaced the power wires on the inside of this thing. Let's take a look at the inside of this thing. There's nothing to this. It's 2 tuned inductors. This is the best single end device that you're ever going to be able to build, this circuit right here. It's going to be mono channels. Like you're going to get really good performance out of about 4 or 5 channels. And I wanted to go into really good detail on how this works, but I don't think anybody's really going to care that much. But I go to run it, and the on-off switch is busted. As in, like, you flip the on-off switch to the on position, and it would immediately fall back down to off. I'm like, oh, man. And then you look at it, and it had 19 years of cigarette stain on it. 19 years worth of cigarette. I mean, it had cigarette. I mean, this heat sink is clean now. I went through, and I got out the 409 and I scrub. I get out the rubbing alcohol and I scrub. Get it all cleaned up, put a new on-off switch in it. New power wires go to hook it up. And this stupid little stud mount transistor, that's a stud mount by the way, is dead. I mean, deader than dead as dead can be. Dead. So far, other than that or the DNA Phantom, I don't think that this thing is worth rebuilding. In the same breath, it's me you're talking to. If I don't get totally sucker printed on having to use a stud mount transistor, which I don't have any extras of because the cocksuckers are impossible to find, I think that we're going to do something else with this, which we'll follow up on this in a later set of video series down the line. Let's see, where are we? What part is this thing, by the way? Let's click on this mouse. This is part 9 of this video saga. MidNight Special 250 repainted cabinet, actually tuned so it can work. Got a little bit of time invested in this guy. I still think it's honestly worth about $300, give or take. Two 1446's little MidNight Special. Just give me a call. First one that calls me gets it. I don't care where it goes. I don't care who buys it. It just can't stay here. That's all there is to it. Hey, big shout out to Excess Power. Big shout out to Siglant. Big shout out to Coaxial Dynamics and Bird, as always, at the end of every single one of these videos. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and following along with the saga. I hope you're all enjoying as we work through this. These are down and dirty videos. They're just quick, to the point, and they are what they are. This whole project, it's the gift that won't stop giving. It's kind of like herpes, but in the same breath, everybody wins. I'll see you, gentlemen. Bye-bye.